Good evening, Eagle fans. Thank you for joining us. My name is Clayton Floriani. We're live on the campus of ECS in Cordova, Tennessee at Legends Field as our 2-0 ECS Eagles take on the 1-1 Harding Lions. This will be the first region game for the Eagles this year, having come off a victory last week 42-7 over St. Benedict and previously against Christ Press. So this matches up 6 teams in our region. So very important matchup tonight as we start this season. As Coach Adams said this week during the Chalk Talk and during our interview, it's great to be 2-0, but this is where our season really starts because we do begin region play. We're going to review last week's game. Brittany's going to join me here in just a moment, and then we're going to preview tonight's matchup as Harding comes in. Harding is a pretty experienced team, starting quarterback, 3-year starter. So lots to talk about on that end. Before we get going, Brittany, I'll go over our sponsors real quick. Thank you so much to our sponsors. We say it weekly, but we should not go unnoticed or unspoken or whatever the word would be. But
we need to talk about it.
We need to talk about it because we wouldn't be doing this without you. So thank you so much.
In particular, one sponsor I wouldn't be doing this without.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know who that is.
My dad.
True. There
Just
you go.
saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
Well, let's just start off with Sean Wilkins Sr. with State Farm Insurance.
That one.
Go visit him. Any insurance needs that you have, give him a call. He'll give you a great quote. He'll probably beat what you have, but
my rate actually went down. I'm not kidding. Rate cut. My rate actually went down, believe it or not. And one little tidbit here, my dad and my brother both throwing out the footballs,
yes.
bringing those back.
So
but
great.
If you call and get a quote, he will give $10 more for every quote that he gets on top of what he's already sponsoring. So if you're in our community and you're thinking about, if you want to see if you can save money on life insurance too, but on auto insurance, call, get a quote, 388-4944.
Yeah, he's been given to this school for a long time, and still is.
A long time.
Still is.
Since 1970.
Our pregame show, as you see at the bottom of your screen there, brought to you by Buff City Soap, the Kevin Hersky family. Go visit Kevin there at the corner of Neshoba and Germantown Road in the new Thornwood complex there. Go see them. Big article in the Germantown, wasn't in the paper, is a big Germantown magazine that came out this week. So
all I know is my wife has the soap. She loves the soap. I don't understand how one soap's different from another, but you know what? It doesn't matter because my wife likes it.
And the laundry detergent. That's what I'm talking
about. The laundry detergent.
Yeah,
that's what I should have said. The laundry detergent. She says it's great, all natural, and everything's clean. And hopefully, I'll let you decide how I smell.
You're good. I think we're both good.
It works.
Yeah. Maybe a cheeseburger mixed in with it. But thank you to Kevin Hersky. This is great having him as our pregame sponsor. So definitely give them a visit. Kickoffs, punts, field goals tonight brought to you by Tim Wilson, Compliance Associates. Tim has a son, freshman, Garrett Wilson, outstanding athlete and freshman on the football team. First downs, we just mentioned Sean Wilkins Sr. Timeouts tonight, Strategic Financial Partners, Bill Edwards, Barrett Jones, Chandler Gagnon, and Hamp Holcomb. Touchdowns tonight brought to you by Benny James. That's the Darren Wilkes family, Darren alumnus here at the school, and his kids as well. So thank you for Darren. Halftime show brought to you by Pediatric Dental Group and Orthodontics. That's my group. So thanks to Steve Fuson, Nate Denson, and Taylor Colazzo for being a part of this broadcast as always. Stats and sideline report. Brandon Artilles will be with us tonight on the sideline, so glad to have him on board. Those will be brought to you by MSC Millwork, which is the Sammy Reagan family. Thank you to Sammy for joining us.
Chris Williams on stats. Did you say that?
Did not. Chris Williams will be on the stats also. So Brandon will be on the sideline. Chris will be on the stats. So fantastic having him. If you listened last week, go back. Nice to have those quarterly updates throughout the game. And the players of the week, as you see, put out on social media by Scott House at Bank 3. So thank you, Scott, for once again. And Matt Stevens, those guys at his law office, they put out the Chalk Talk and Walk, the Coach Adams show, which is put out weekly, kind of a 2-minute little
on the YouTube
talk
channel.
On the YouTube channel. So hop on the YouTube channel, ECS Eagles Sports. Look that up. Also, if you have a radio,
hopefully they found it.
I hope so.
Otherwise,
by now,
we're not talking.
That's
anyway.
right. Well,
which is possible.
Actually, we have had since, and I think I sent that to you, in this first month, we've had 2,000 views. Is that correct?
Which is only 2 games.
2 games.
Well, and then the coaches shows.
And the coaches shows, but it's a lot of action. So thank you for coming out, getting online, and checking us out. Josh Regal Pharma Lab. Thank you to Josh and Summer Regal. Also to Jake Vargo at the Memphis Children's Clinic. Yeah, pediatrician. So thank you for that. I think that's going to do it.
Also
Britton.
an ECS graduate, Josh Riegel, an ECS graduate.
That's right. That's right.
A lot of ECS graduates. You got Darren Wilkes, ECS graduate. Those guys are Strategic Financial.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Kevin Hertzke, yeah, Buff City.
Yeah.
So that's kind of wrap up our sponsors. Let's go back, Britton, and let's look at last week. Pretty, Coach, as Coach Adams said, we jumped on him quick the first quarter. Second quarter, his quote was, "Feel we kind of laid an egg." The second quarter, the goal line stand at the end kind of made up for it. And the third quarter, we came out. He had some good, healthy conversations at halftime, and some people stepped up and played some ball second half.
Yeah, first quarter Eagles were up 14-0, and then in the half it was 7-7. So, and that big, as you just mentioned, in that second quarter, right at the end of the half, that goal line stand was huge because otherwise it was 7-7. And then the Eagles came out pumped up, probably had a little halftime encouragement from the coach, and put up 14 points in the third quarter, and then finished it off with 7. So 42-7. It was, from the very beginning, the Eagles had control of the game. So when you look at the stats, 324 yards of total offense by the Eagles, 193 rushing, 131 passing. From a ratio, that's a little bit more passing than we saw the first week, right. which was more rush. Offensively, 4 for 7. Hatcher was 4 for 7, 3 touchdowns, had another touchdown that was called back. Carson Gagnon really was the lead receiver there. 3 receptions for 125 yards. Austin Hill had a reception as well. Rushing-wise, Jalen had 15 attempts for 144 yards. Matthew McMeans, 11 attempts for 44 yards. No fumbles.
Gagnon had a spectacular night.
He
went up and got the ball. He challenged their defensive backs, and he won.
Yeah, and the defense did a great job holding SBA to 4.3 yards per play. So the defense really did a great job. So decided victory for the Eagles. Needed to win that one, projected to win that one. You got to win those games you are expected to win.
That's right.
The past 2 weeks, I have some stats here for that. We scored 72 points in the past 2 weeks, only given up 13. So great offensive play and also great defensive play. 30 first downs, 22 rushing, 7 passing the last 2 weeks. So as we talked about, Coach Adams talked about, you got to establish the run, and that's worked out really well. Third down stat, 40% on third down conversions, 6 of 15. Our opponents are 2 for 19 on third down. So fourth down conversions, we're 1 for 2. Opponents are 2 for 6. So the defense has done a good job there. Rushing-wise, we've rushed for 494 yards, averaging 7.4 yards per carry. And we've only given up 280 yards on the ground over the last 2 games.
I think that Coach Adams still trying to solidify his starting lineup. We'll probably see a few changes tonight. Maybe a sickness here or there, guys not maybe a little under the weather. No injuries really, but just guys under the weather. So I think we're still trying to get the exact lineup for that offensive line. And then the defensive line, it's just whoever's fresh. Those guys are flipping over from the offensive side. So, the more rest they can get, the more productive we'll be on the defensive side of the ball, for sure.
Yeah, and it's a hot night.
It is hot.
And heat index, that field's been baking.
It is hot
all day.
Sure is.
So we finally have a little bit of shade on the field. The sun has just set enough that the field is not in the sun, and this is the first time. So it's going to take a while for that field to cool down. So the air is going to cool down, but not the field.
Good deal. Let's look ahead tonight. You got a couple more, and we'll go ahead to get over to Harding.
Yeah, one thing I noticed looking over the last 2 weeks, we've had 11 penalties for 110 yards. Obviously, Coach Adams would like to reduce that number going forward. That's
50 yards last week. 50 yards,
and
too many.
And 60 yards the first week.
Yeah.
So too many penalties, especially this early. It happens early in the season, but we need to clean that up, especially as we get into the Houstons, some of these teams that Houston, Careyville, that have more athletes, more players that to be able to win those games, you're going to have to be penalty-free, turnover-free, great special teams. So on special teams, We've had 4 returns for 105 yards, averaging 26.3 per return. We've had 12 kickoffs with 7 touchbacks, which is great for a brand new kicker.
Absolutely.
So Evan done a great job. Converted soccer player, but not converted. I'm sure he'll be back on the soccer field. But soccer player out, averaging 35 yards per punt, 1 for 1 on field goals. It was over 30 yards, and then 9 for 10 on PATs.
Great. We've had 3 guys come out this week on the team, so they decided they wanted to play football.
3 new guys.
3 new guys.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, some
That's
guys
great.
that have played middle school that kind of decided. So that's to me is a great sign for your program when guys didn't start the year and they think, man, I'm really missing that. And they
want to be part of it.
They feel the excitement that Coach Adams is doing here. So we'll look ahead tonight to the Harding Lions. Harding's, as far as numbers go, they're pretty low, about 23, 24 players. 2 names you're going to remember. It's going to be Miles Neely, their quarterback, and Reed Swilinski, number 8 and number 11. That's the engine that makes those guys run. Neely's, I don't know if he's a 3-year starter, but last year he did. His 10th grade year, he definitely played a lot. They run a lot of Wildcats sometimes, so, to say he starts, he does, but maybe not play every snap. But he's a great athlete, lots of speed, and he's been doing it for a long time. So we are definitely need to hone in on those 2 guys, and we'll be fine. If we don't, those guys will hurt us. Containment is going to be key tonight.
Yeah, Reed Swilinski, interestingly enough, his father went and played football here, was a great running back here. His sister is at school here now, so there's a connection to the Swilinski family.
This is kind of home.
That's right. Reed's averaging 60 yards per game for the Lions. Miles Neely is passing for 114 yards per game. Total yards per game for Miles, as you talked about it, he also gets some snaps running the ball more the Wildcat, 142 yards.
Well, it's going to be a great night. It is senior night here.
Good.
So we're going to honor all the fall sports teams that have seniors in those, and we'll do that at halftime. There was a lot of them, so we couldn't get them before the game. Great night for football. I see our captains out here, Ladarius Allen, I think Matthew Pennington, Logan Arnwan, and I think that's John Webster there. Those guys are going to go out to midfield. We're about to get this underway. Thank you for joining us.
2 things I'll say. Jenny Shorten's going to join us for halftime. So tune in. Our academic dean, a revered teacher here, still teaches, but our academic dean giving great academic direction. So look forward to hearing from her. Also, I was going to mention last week against Overton, Harding actually rushed for 257 yards. So this is a capable team if you give them the room. They've got some big players. They've got some athletes. They were not as successful in the passing game last week. So the key will be to shut down the run defensively this week. So Coach talked about, in our call this week, he actually expects them to go for it quite a bit on kickoffs.
Yeah.
He's expecting a fair number of onside kicks. And, that reminds me of Mike Leach. Leach used to do the onside kick some insane amount of times because statistically speaking, the odds are actually not that bad for getting an onside kick.
That's right.
So I think they're close to 50%.
Lots of region games tonight. North Point, St. George's. We want to pay attention to that tonight. Also FACS and Lausanne as we take on the Lions here. So with that, we're going to pan back out. Mike Stoker's on the camera tonight. Thanks, Michael, for being here. We'll pan back out to the game and get this thing underway.
Sounds good.
All right.
Well, just then it was rubbing up against your shirt. Clayton, as I finish up this French fry I'm eating right now, I want to say thanks to the grill team.
Oh, man, you're not kidding.
The grill team, I don't know if I have all the names, but I have several of them. Athletic Booster Club leader, Lanny Saunders. Richard Cave's been doing it. Lanny's been doing it about 10 years. Richard Cave's been doing it over 10 years. Jeremy Harris for 7 years. Robert Cochran, 7 years. Chad Clay, 7 years. Pete Garrison for about 5. Huff Peeler over 10. Terry Moore over 10. Clay Scott for 3 years. You got Kenneth Shackelford, Carlos Webster, John Crosby, Donnie Thetford, an ECS graduate, and Coors Arthur, all down on the grill team. So thanks, guys. It is no doubt, in my opinion, the best burger in town. I don't eat as much on Fridays because I know I'm going to come here and eat a big cheeseburger, get some fries. So thanks to the grill
until
team.
we hit Sonic.
And then there's Sonic. Then there's that. That's after the game. I was talking about before the game.
Yeah, true.
I wasn't.
Light lunch.
So also I want to say thanks to our cheerleaders. Do a great job. They're down in the end zone now, ready to welcome the team on here in just a second. As the team looks like they're about to come out. Sydney Jackson, Sarah Regal, Claire Colley, Lane Dawson, Mia Floriani, Mary Rowland, Evelyn Vanderswag, Eva Daughtry, Meg Williams, Taylor Aaron, Tierra Allen, Hannah Benson, Kerrigan Childress, Savannah Coons, Akira Jones, Kate Learned, Casey Long, and Addison Whitehorn. So our varsity cheerleaders for this year. One of those your daughter. I know they work
and
hard.
Chris's daughter.
And
Meg.
Chris's daughter, that's
Yeah.
right, Meg.
And actually, Lindley's
Meg
been
and Mia.
Lindley's been kind of pulled up to do a little.
My daughter, yeah, she practices with the varsity every once in a while.
Great experience.
She's like the first alternate as an 8th grader.
Britton, as I look down on the field here, I see my man, Coach Daniel Holmes. He's ready. So let's run through these coaches. Daniel Holmes, outside linebackers. Hardy Buck, inside linebackers. Ben Todd, defensive line. Scott Vogel, defensive coordinator, also in charge of the defensive backs. Taylor Powers, wide receivers. Coach Ruvalcaba is going to be your running backs. Coach Jim Hines is going to be your offensive coordinator. And Coach Manuel Burton, tight ends, and also on the headset tonight with Coach Adams. And, of course, Coach Trey Adams in his 3rd year at ECS, first as head coach. So, also Steve Williford. That's right. Don't forget Coach Williford on the offensive line.
It's a great staff.
It is.
It's a great staff. I'm really impressed this year with Coach Adams, how the transition from Jonas Rodriguez, a great coach.
Yeah.
Coach Adams was on that staff, but then after the transition, nobody left. In fact, they added a couple of coaches. And so I think that speaks really well of Coach Adams. Excuse me.
A couple thoughts. Our Eagles are about to come through tonight as we start this senior night out. Here they come. Take it on the Harding lines. A couple of people I wanted to mention. One, Janie Peeler and Natalie Milam. They're up here they don't leave. They're here on Friday, and they're here all day through the game. So we could not do half of what we do without them. We've got printouts. We've got access to this, access to that. So a big thank you to those two.
Yeah, Tim Harrison's done a good job getting us geared up with our,
thank you. Yeah, no doubt.
Our IT man getting us live feeds. So Clayton, Harding wins the toss. They will receive. And, tonight we have back on the sideline the Brandon Artilles.
That's right, no doubt. Who
the
also
man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, who also does the Equip podcast for us weekly
He
here
does.
at the school.
If you recognize that voice, it's not me. It's from the Equip podcast.
And head wrestling coach.
Head wrestling coach. That's right. Brandon, did we miss anything?
I think y'all.
I can't. It's breaking up. Let me see if we can get a better signal.
Doug, but at the top of that is okay.
All right, Brandon, hold on a second. Hold on, because we can't hear you. Hang on. We're going to try this. We're going to reposition our equipment.
Boy, Stuckey drilled it, didn't he, Britton?
He did. Back in the end zone for a touchback. Brandon, we're having difficulties. We're going to have to Come back. Try to talk to us, Brandon.
Touchback to get things started off at this game right now. How about that? You hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
All right.
And
now,
we see you. And we see you.
got it figured out. But, yes, thank you for the kind introduction. I know I've been slacking, but I am so excited to be on the sideline, back at it. Interesting from down here.
Well, I'm glad that you said it, that you've been slacking, because I didn't want to have to bring it up.
Hey,
Just saying.
Hey, I own my my inequities.
The Eagles are going to get this started. We've got Coot, nose guard, Dietrich Pennington, right defensive tackle, Josh Hartsup, left defensive tackle, Austin Hill, number 4, outside linebacker, along with Preston Daniel, Andrew Agapos, 35, and Ethan Saunders, the middle linebacker. Neely, quick pass, that'll be incomplete, in and out of the hands of number 3, Octavius Lamar. Will Arthur, cornerback at the top of your screen, number 14. Matthew McMeans, number 20, at the bottom.
How did we end up? Was there a 5-yard penalty?
Yeah.
Delay of game already.
Second down, 15 for Harding. Neely, your quarterback. Swolinski in number 11 in motion, who we talked about. They'll look for him right here on a wheel route. I tell you what, he had him a little bit early. Not a lot of time as he got flushed.
Hey, Brandon, is your mic off down there? There we go. It was giving us a little bit of feedback. Not that we don't want to talk to you.
Third down, 15 for Harding. Neely looking deep. Boy, Peter Nern right there, in and out of his hands. Boy, he'd like to have that one back. Great play by Nern. Nice break on the ball. That'll bring up fourth down.
That was triple coverage.
Brandon, as you're down there, make sure your mic, the battery's working that thing, and they might be a little low as well. That may be some issue. Gagnon will fair catch that on the 48-yard line.
Clayton, we talked about it in pregame. Gagnon had a great week last week. 3 receptions for 125 yards, and those were 3 touchdowns, were they not?
They were.
3 touchdowns by Gagnon, and a 4th touchdown, which got called back. And I remember last week looking and thinking, man, who's he throwing it to? And then, out of the screen, flying in like Superman, comes Gagnon for the save, the touchdown, and the win.
Yeah, he just went after the ball a lot.
He had a good nose for the ball. I mentioned it last week. He reminded me sometimes of Dawson. Dawson would just go up and figure out how to get it done.
We're going to run a gut play right up the middle to McMeans. Huge hole. He'll pick up 10 on the play.
I think I could have run through that hole.
That was huge.
And that's saying something.
Boy, great push by Coot, and Carlton Webster just collapsed that right side of the line, which opened up the hole for McMeans. Pickup of 9. Actually, that'll be a second down and 1. We're going to put Gagnon at the bottom of the screen, Matthew Pennington up top, McMeans your tailback, Austin Hill kind of a slot on the right, more of an H-back right by Preston Daniel. I'm sure that's right where they're headed. Boy, great move by McMeans at the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up 10 more. They blitzed. Outside linebacker, he went inside. McMeans dodged him. Gagnon was able to pick up a nice little block as well.
Preston Daniel took his man and basically blocked him down to about the 10-yard line. He wasn't getting anywhere near the ball.
That'll bring up
Preston was about. I think Preston almost had him to Shelby Farms.
to Macon Road. All right, they'll be 1st and 10. Ball on the 20. We'll call it the 29-yard line. Same play, right side. This time to Greenwood. He'll pick up probably 9 as well.
The offensive line creating some big holes for both McMeans and Jalen to run through.
I see Andrew Agapos go in number 35 at fullback. That's how about let's give a shout out to his mom and dad for 25-year anniversary coming up this next week.
That's right, 25 years. You're supposed to do, I don't know what you're supposed to buy, but you're supposed to buy something big on the 25th.
That's right. I think Miss Carolyn will be celebrated well, so that's great. Little play action pass. He's looking for Gagnon. Boy, got him right there. Touchdown Eagles. Boy, great play by Gagnon, Britton. The ball was in a great spot. He kind of had to shield himself from the defender. That's 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks for Gagnon.
Well, Hatcher had a man on him. Somebody came free. I guess they were blitzing. Someone looked like there was a blitz off that right side. Their right, our left side. And someone was right in his face when he threw that ball. He did a good job getting it off. Yet another successful PAT by Evan Stuckey. That would be a Benny James, Darren Wilkes touchdown.
Yes.
I know I say it every week, but I was thinking about this the other night. There literally is not, I think, new hot water heater, new dishwasher, new ceiling fan installed, new 5-ton furnace, new 5-ton HVAC. I don't know what you call them, but air conditioner, the whole deal outside.
Yep.
I just know they don't come cheap, especially with all these new high-rated Sears. And Darren's done work for St. Jude. He does really high-end work, but he also services my home, your business. And I've said it. One called. They've done plumbing too. Put in a new hot water incinerator deal. They do it all.
Stuckey will drive that deep. We'll head down to the sideline with Brandon Artilles. Brandon, talk to us a little bit about the sideline. Sounds like we jumped on them quick.
Yeah, and it seems like right now it's the pressure is on Harding, and that's exactly where I know you were talking about before the game about the blitz and being able to handle that. That was one of the things in the Harding defense arsenal, and it looks like they handled that well. Of course, that was a full blitz on the touchdown. Standing in the pocket and delivering a strike to Carson there on that connection.
Thank you, Brandon. This came in from Chris Williams right here beside me. That's a 4-play, 48-yard drive. 2 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock. Preston Daniel, Andrew Agapos. Boy, he just did not have any room. We were all over him.
Clayton, our own Mr. Ben Burgess, watching from Birmingham tonight, Director of Curriculum and Instruction. I think that's the right title. But
and coach.
And coach. A valuable member of this administrative team here. So thanks, shout out to his family. His family is very dear to ours.
2nd down, 10. Swolinski tries to get outside.
There is nowhere to go.
No, you're not going to get past Austin Hill on that right side.
Now, I think if I'm an offensive coordinator, I want to go Austin away. That's what I'm going to call the play.
Austin
running play, and they go, which side, coach? Whatever side that number 4 is not on.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
That was an aggressive play by Austin. He just basically shucked his guy, got in the backfield. Hartsuff had a great push on that side as well. Not a lot to do after those guys wrap them up.
Austin Hill's leading the team with 6.5 tackles so far this year. I think that might only be from one game. Yeah, that's one game stats. The defensive stats, I have one game. Offensive stats, I have 2 games to go from. But he's leading the team defensively. You've also got Ethan Saunders, Peter Nern, Matthew McMeans, Andrew Agapos, the leaders there. All right, that timeout, Clayton, brought to you by Strategic Financial Partners. Hamp Holcomb, Barrett Jones, Chandler Gagnon, older brother of Carson, also an accomplished soccer player, and Bill Edwards, accomplished baseball player, and Barrett Jones, certainly accomplished football player, needs no introduction to this fan base.
3rd and 15. Boy, pick Carson Gagnon. Neely was looking deep. Did Gagnon take this all the way back? A pick 6 by Gagnon. That's 2 touchdowns tonight. Boy, just jumped right in front of him. Great athletic play. He's zoned in, Britton. Gagnon's playing great ball.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Gagnon's hands. I mean, his hands were good last year, but man, he just seems to take in everything that comes around him like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, that's a Darren Wilkes, Benny James touchdown. Brandon, you were on the sideline there for that timeout. What was it the coach told them to bring out that touchdown?
Well, mainly because
we're losing you there for some reason.
Sorry, Brandon. Maybe we need to swap the batteries. We got nothing. We got a whole lot of nothing. You're talking, giving us some great analytical material. I mean, great commentary, and we got nothing. That's frustrating.
Hang tight. I'm gonna get some batteries.
Check. See, I think I'm in a bubble. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to swap those batteries out.
I think it's the batteries.
Brandon, the batteries in the mic. Clayton's got some more batteries up here, so. Another kickoff by Evan Stuckey. Fielded at the 2-yard line by the Lions. Looked like that return was by Miles Neely.
Their quarterback.
Yep, the quarterback. Well, that's not good. When you have to when your quarterback's the guy returning your kickoffs,
yeah,
that's not a good sign for your football team. That's an unfortunate position to be in. Well, impressed with the Eagle defense thus far, Clayton. Lions, that offensive line of the Lions have just not been able to push our guys back.
Brandon.
Miles Neely around the right end. Picks up about a yard, maybe 2. Be 2nd and 8 or 9.
Try that one and take the batteries to see. No, just see how it does first, and then just turn it on.
We're trying to work on the sideline mic, try to get that fixed up.
You know, you do great, but you're just not as attractive as the ESPN side.
Uh-oh. Brandon's getting some grief. Brandon got some grief.
Hey, that was on camera, Dave.
That's right.
Dave Morris. All right, 1st and 10 for the Lions. Quick pass.
All right.
So number 3, Octavius Lamar. Nice throw and catch. He'll pick up probably 5 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Matthew McMeans and Carson Gagnon were right there for essentially no gain, but their receiver busted right through him and did a nice job picking up a couple yards on that play.
Chris, can you see the replay here? Is that okay? 3rd and short for the Lions. We're going to put Swolinski as a lone back, more of a wildcat. He'll take this right up the gut. Boy, Dietrich Pennington just stuck a big paw out there and just clotheslined him.
That's probably going to be one of Dietrich's
wow.
That's going to be one of Dietrich's highlight.
That was a wrestling move.
There.
You know, that was that clothesline. You throw him against the ropes and come back and just.
Well, the offensive lineman tried to cross over. You know, they had a slant on. He tried to cross over, get in front of Dietrich, and Dietrich just said no thanks.
Wow.
Pushed him to the left. Took that offensive lineman. It was a nice play because he took the offensive lineman's momentum and went with it, pushed him farther out of the way, and that lineman didn't have a chance. I'm going to tell you, Clayton, I would not want to face up Dietrich every day.
No way, no way. Quick kick by Harding. They've shown that in a few games. Gagnon will fair catch that on our side of the 50, about the 48. 5:33 to go in this first quarter. Your Eagles already up 14-0. Kind of what we expected tonight.
You're right.
I'll get into that. Go ahead.
Well, I
Jason.
would say, with the punt there, that the punts are brought to you by Tim Wilson Compliance Associates. So we try to get our sponsors in. We've linked these sponsors to different events during the game so that it reminds us to say their names. And so
Absolutely.
thankfully they have sponsored this broadcast and made it possible. So thanks, Tim Wilson.
All right, 1st and 10 for your Eagles. Agapos in motion just a little bit. Greenwood in the backfield. Boy, he takes the pitch, breaks to the outside, steps out of bounds. He'll pick up probably, we'll call it right at 10 yards, probably a first down.
Almost a late hit by the Lions. If you can see it on the, can't see it on the replay, but
They're going to call him just shy of the first down. 2nd down and a long one.
Jalen's rushed for now over 300 yards on the season. He had 294 yards coming into this game.
Stevens, bottom of your screen. Handoff to Greenwood. Breaks free. Boy, he might go here, Britton. Around the corner to the 20, to the 15. He'll step out at probably the 14, they'll call it the 13-yard line. Great move. Great run by Greenwood. Excellent block. Matthew Pennington, number 19, at the top of the screen that sprung Greenwood to the sideline.
That was a nice job by Miles Neely, the Harding defender, on that play. You know, a lot of guys, when Jalen returns the corner, he just leaves them in the dust. Miles kept up with him, forced him out of bounds.
Speed. He's
so
a great
Miles
athlete.
clearly one of the best athletes on their team. So, Brandon, you got some commentary. We've got your mic. We can hear you.
Well, I'm trying to get some fill in from Coach Vogel here, DC, about what's working well out there. We're going to catch up. He's busy right now, so I'm going to let him coach. But we're going to figure out what's going on that side of the ball.
Well, we had a play-action pass. Faked it to McMeans. Hatcher rolls out. Just couldn't. It was a long pass and couldn't get a lot on it. Couldn't quite see that at home. He was looking for Nern on an out route. Threw it kind of off the back foot, so couldn't get a lot on it. Great play. Hey, give Harding credit. Number 3, Octavius Lamar, I believe. Wasn't that right, Chris?
Octavius Lamar, that's
yeah.
right.
We've called his name several times tonight already. So Harding doesn't have a lot of guys, but the ones they have, they can play. So that's new life for Harding. That'll bring them out. The ball will be on the 15-yard line as they head north. Neely, your quarterback. Swalinski in motion.
Ball on the ground. Recovered by the Lions. Just a fumbled snap.
Kendall Guess. Actually, that was Josh Harris, I believe. Yes, Josh Harris, number 13. Loss of 2, 2nd down, 12. Hartsuff, Coote, Pennington, still on that front defensive line. I tell you what, Britton, those 3 guys are big.
Yeah, they are.
Man.
I don't want any part of having to run into them. I'd love to run behind them.
Boy, just wrapped them up. Coote and Hartsuff. I mean, Harding can't move those guys.
Yeah, the great penetration by Coote.
Yeah, Coote took 2 away. Pennington collapsed down. Another great tackle. I'm seeing a different gear in Pennington tonight. We know he's a great player, but I'm still seeing him with a different gear tonight. More aggressive.
Yeah, I agree.
A better push. Luke Pleben, 53, now in. He'll replace Pennington. Hartsuff gives chase. That'll be incomplete. So defense steps up. No harm, no foul from that interception. They'll punt this off. Eagles get the ball back. It'll be just under 3 minutes when we touch it.
Probably going to get the ball at midfield again, which has really been our starting position after 2 punts. Started both drives right about the middle of the field. That'll be the case. Ball on the Lions' 48-yard line. The Eagles will start this drive.
Gagnon tried to pick it up. It kind of took a knuckleball bounce, popped right up, so probably would have had a nice return had he been able to catch it.
Got some great insight from Coach Adams just coming off the interception for Jacob Hatcher. Really just going to great lengths to calm him down. Hatcher obviously very frustrated about throwing the pick. So interesting to see what the play call is coming out on this drive.
Thank you, Brandon.
Well, we're going to go
That
bread and
came
butter.
through.
I think I could have called that play. It's been so successful to McMeans. Boy, great block by Luke Pleben.
That offensive line, the offensive line just moved the whole line of scrimmage. It was every offensive lineman pushing back the Lions.
Pleben in for Hartsuff just had a great block. Austin Hill had a great block. Chris, how far was that run right there? 21 yards. So nice to crank off 21 yards on first down. That's usually a good sign things are going well. Pennington, bottom of your screen. Stevens up top. McMeans will pick up probably 5 off the left side. We'll bring in Will Arthur and Gagnon. Pennington, Stevens out. We'll call it 2nd down and 8. We'll get Arthur wide, Gagnon in the slot. It'll be a pass play. Boy, great catch by Gagnon. There we go. Got Hatcher back on track. Hatcher got rid of the ball quickly, which was great. Gave Gagnon time to catch it and make a move.
Looks like it'll be about 3rd down and 2 maybe. So just short of the first down. Nice hole for Jalen. Ball comes loose late after the play. Jalen's going to be ruled down about the 10-yard line, so it'll be a first down for the Eagles. That'll be a Sean Wilkins State Farm first down, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we haven't had as many first downs because we've had long touchdowns.
Yeah.
Including the interception and return for a touchdown.
We missed that first down, 21-yard first down by McMeans, the first of this series. So, indeed. Boy, great blocking on that left side that time. We kind of walled it off. Saunders had a great block at tight end, kicked him out. We're going to bring Arthur down to the bottom of your screen. Greenwood in the backfield along with Agapos in motion. Gagnon, almost like a little sweep, little pass, shuffle pass, we'll call it. That'll be a touchdown.
For the touchdown. Yeah, it is.
That's a little wrinkle we haven't seen this year so far. We've worked on it in practice quite a bit.
I like how that play looked. That's just a quick snap back and then a quick release.
Nice
Gagnon.
block. Nice block by everybody. Agapos especially did a nice job hanging with his block. Took a while for that to develop. You know, you got to remember Gagnon's coming from the wide side of the field. So,
well, another successful PAT by Evan Stuckey.
So thank you. That's going to be a touchdown. The Darren Wilkes family with Benny James. Also the extra point kick. That's by Tim Wilson. Compliance Associates, the Tim Wilson family. Thank you so much. Chris, tell us what you got here. We're about to wrap this first quarter here, 18 seconds to go.
Well, it is all ECS substantially. Total offense 135-4 in favor of the Eagles.
Wow.
Both teams run 12 plays. ECS averaging a little over 11 yards per play. Harding 0.3 yards per play. 39-6 in the passing yards. 96 to -2 in the rushing yards. So all Eagles so far.
Yeah, that's. I didn't realize it was that bad, but it's getting there. 21-0 in the first quarter. That probably sums it up. Swolinski took that on about the 3, was ready to come out, but slipped. So they're going to call him down within the 5-yard line. Great camera work, Stoker. Appreciate it, man. That's great work.
Yeah, the Eagles came into this game averaging 8.1 yards per play. And as Chris just said tonight, we're already surpassing that thus far. Good job on the defense of the Eagles stopping them, looks like on about the 1, maybe 2-yard line. Like a loss of a yard or 2.
Yes, Saunders shot that gap from that inside linebacker position for a great tackle. Almost got a safety. All right, we'll flip it.
You know who got a safety this week?
I did, Memphis Tigers.
That's right. Memphis Tigers.
Brandon, first quarter, give us a little recap.
Well, pretty good. Coach Adams, how important was that response right there, even at this stage in the game?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we got to take care of ourselves, attention to detail. It's a great job of Hatcher responding, coming back down, offense doing what they're supposed to do, defense is playing well right now.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Boy, that's great, Brandon. Thanks for that insight.
Hey, Brandon, you're hired, man. You just got a raise. Next week, instead of the cheeseburger, you get to have some fries with it.
Hey, and if you want to, if I can have your leftover sausage plate, that's
Yes.
just bonus.
Hey, whatever I can do to help you out.
I'll acknowledge I have little knowledge, so let's go to the head coach, and he can fill in those blanks. So
I love it. We call that taking that to the H&L, Brandon. That's the whole nother level.
Whole nother level. Is that a Houston Nut? Is that a boss hog kind of conversation right there?
Yeah, it is.
The boss hog kind of day.
Hey, I will be in Oxford tomorrow night, as will you, for the Arkansas Ole Miss game.
Hey,
you be
Mom.
there?
Waving to Mom. Yeah, Mike Wages may or may not have just taken a selfie with he and Clayton. That may be going to one former head of school in Austin, Texas.
All right, here we go. We're going to start this second quarter off. Neely in his own end zone. He'll get out to the 1.
Loss of another yard or 2 on the play. Swolinski.
Oh, Swolinski.
Well, Swolinski's just not – they're not giving him much room to run. This defensive line is doing a great job standing them up.
Once again, great play by Saunders. 2 in a row for him. All right, that's going to be a safety. Fumbled the snap, couldn't get it off. It was going to be a quick kick, not a lot of room. Arthur was there, Saunders was there, Webster was there, Hill was there, Daniel. Boy, just a whole host of Eagles for that. So that'll tack on 2 more. That'll be 23-0 as we start this second quarter. Britton, looks like this could go running clock by the end, but let me tell you why that's important. Because, not the running clock, but we get other guys in. We have had a hard time scheduling JV games this year due to the heat. So our guys, our younger players, have not had a lot of time outside of the mop-up work to get some substantial time in.
But
So
yeah, you're right.
with tonight, this happening, we could see a whole second half.
Yeah, it'd be good to get the those younger guys in. Like you said, those JV games are crucial for getting guys game time experience. There's nothing like, getting some game time action.
That's right.
You can practice it. You can do similar, try to make it as real as you can, but it's just nothing beats game time experience.
All right, so 11:20 to go in this second quarter. That's going to put Harding on the 20-yard line, kicking south to us, following the safety. We're going to move everybody up. Now, Harding known for onside kicks. I don't know that they'll do it right here.
I don't know if they're going to do it from the 20.
That's going to go to Gagnon. Boy, he's been hot tonight. Let's see what he does with this. Boy, he gets a crease, Britton. He could go.
Got one man to beat.
One man to beat. Miles Neely.
Miles Neely, a great athlete for the Lions.
Great opening. Gagnon turned on the Jets. Gets down to we'll call it the 13-yard line.
They may put Gagnon on ice here in a minute.
I'll tell you what. That guy, go get that guy a cheeseburger, huh?
Gagnon might need to put him on ice. Let him sit out.
All right. Neely kicked it. Neely kicked it and made the tackle. Brendan, you're sounding great on the sidelines, by the way. That Mike's is doing well. Greenwood off the left side, turns on the speed. Makes a move, gets in, maybe a hold here.
Looks like a hold. Yep,
Cool.
It is. Officials are signaling a hold.
Great play by
Jalen did a great job making something. I mean, they were, as soon as he got the ball, there was a lion right in his face, and Jalen just did a good job making the first guy miss, and then he outran two guys. We talked about the fact that Jalen is a AAU competitor, national AAU competitor, a great sprinter, and it shows up when he gets around the corner, gets a little bit of room. He's a hard guy to catch up with. But he's also proven this year, Clayton, he's a hard guy to get down. I mean, he's run through multiple guys. That's been one of the things that surprised me the most. That's been really encouraging about Jalen.
We're going to flip Preston Daniel over to the right side. Hill's going to lead the way.
I'm not exactly sure what happened, but there was about 4 Lions waiting on him.
Well, they just brought everybody.
Brought the house.
Yep, they did.
Well, I would say it's probably not a secret that we were going to run.
No, and not where. When you line up Preston Daniel on the right side, you put Austin Hill on that same side. That's where we're headed. All right, second down, 17. Hatch in the backfield with Hill and Greenwood. Boy, he's going to look for Nern. Just a little too far. Nern couldn't quite catch up to it.
Well, he had plenty of time. The offensive line did a good job giving Hatcher time. Jalen had a nice block in the backfield.
Octavius Lamar was in the coverage, number 3. Had that been a good pass, probably would have been picked. So, nice job of Hatcher not seeing anything, just getting that out of the back of the end zone. All right, third down and 15. Hadn't had a lot of this tonight, so interested to see what Coach Adams dials up here. Gagnon at the top, Arthur at the bottom. Hill is going to be on the right side next to Daniel, kind of an H-back. We're going to put it on the ground to McMeans. Hill seals the end. Boy, look at McMeans. Almost a first down. He'll lose his helmet on that one.
Well, he's dangerous when a helmet flies off in a play.
Nice job of blocking. Gagnon, it's hard like that last time we got the penalty. It's hard when you're holding that defensive back to not get a hold. Gagnon had to come off of him a little bit earlier than he wanted to, but still great block on that edge.
I'm guessing we're going to go for it here. It's fourth down and about 4. If we don't convert here, the Lions will get the ball likely on about the 5-yard line. That's not bad field position.
Boy, great collapse by Ethan Saunders as he hammers the right side down. Great kick out by Austin Hill. Pennington collapses them down. And then just a great job of running by Greenwood. Webster put his man in the end zone. So that'll be a first down on the 4. 3 yards to go, 9:13 to go in this second quarter. Eagles up 23-0.
Great job by the Eagle offense.
That was a first down. State Farm.
It was
Sean
a
Wilkins first
State
down.
Farm first down. 388-4944. Call for a quote.
Boy, great move by Greenwood right at the line of scrimmage to avoid the tackler.
Second effort puts him in for a Benny James touchdown.
Man, he's just so slippery. There wasn't even really a hole, but he's just so fast.
Jalen doesn't need a hole, I'm convinced.
I
He
think
doesn't
you're
need a
right.
hole. Now, they've been giving him holes all night. They've been Matthew McMeans has had great holes to run through. Jalen's had some great space to work with.
Kick is up and good by Stuckey. That'll put the Eagles up 30-0.
Good snap by Bennett Brady with the hold by Caden Hill. A couple underclassmen there on the snap and the hold. The State Farm footballs are back out.
Absolutely. Thank you to your brother for those.
Yep. Sean Wilkins Jr.
Go
I
ahead.
said earlier, Jenny Shorten's going to join us at halftime. Talk about kind of give us the state of the union as it relates to academics. Jenny, our academic dean. Chris, any stats we need to know about?
Chris, rushing. I'm curious what we are on the ground so far. Hang on. Stuckey will drive that one deep into the end zone for the touchback.
Jalen Greenwood is 7 carries for 63 yards, 9 yards per carry. It means 4 carries for 43 yards. Again, one-sided. Hatcher's 3 of 5 passing for 39 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 1 interception.
Thank you. Awesome. Brandon, give us an update from the sideline.
Well, it just seems like right now it's 30-0, 8:47 left in the second quarter. Coaches going out of their way to keep their guys focused and keep them engaged in the game, and don't feel like this is something that they can go to sleep on. So just keeping them focused right now, understanding that we're still in the first half.
All right, appreciate it. Neely, quick pass. That's going to be overthrown.
Had some pressure, had some men in front of him with some arms in there.
You know, to add to what Brandon says, you're right. I mean, we still have that entire starting defense out there. So I think Coach Adams kind of making that point. We want these guys to stay focused. Don't lose concentration. Pennington, Coot, Hartsuff up front, flanked by Austin Hill, Preston Daniel.
Miles Neely on the carry for a loss of about 4 or 5. Looks like you're going to have a hold.
Great tackle by Gagnon to wrap him up, put him on the ground.
I'm guessing where it was thrown, that's going to be a hold. Personal foul against the Lions.
Yeah, you know what they did? They crack backed on Preston Daniel. That's what they did.
You can't do that. You can in college.
And
you know how I know?
Because you did it?
Because I had it done to me. Nothing as demoralizing as being a 6'4", 235-pound linebacker laying on the ground because a 180-pound wide receiver crackbacked on you.
Yeah, well, I mean, Preston Daniel's your size, 6'4", 6'5", and he got put on his back.
Yeah, well.
You used to do that. You can't do that anymore.
happens.
You can't do that anymore. So nice call by the officials. That'll back him up 15 yards.
I had one of my own wide receivers in practice standing over me, taunting at me when he cracked on me.
Oh, man.
Put me on the ground. It happens.
Yeah, I think you're right. We decline that. That'll bring up 3rd down and 14.
Another flag on the ground. Encroachment against ECS, 5-yard penalty, so it'll still be third down at about 9. Maybe a long 8.5.
Britton, we're right here now. We got an opportunity, won't we? Well, hang on here just a second.
We got some more battery issues.
We do. I hope I have some more.
So 4th down and 9 for the Lions on their own 21. The quick kick, we've seen really a shank off the right foot. Get an eagle bounce, ball hits about the 40-yard line. We get an eagle bounce, but then a Lion bounce. So ball hits about the 40. The Eagles will take over on the Lion 42-yard line. 1st and 10 with 7:09 left in the first half. Brandon, go to your mic. Is your mic on still?
Yeah, do you need me to shut it off?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Just
Now,
push
we're getting
mute,
a little
yeah.
bit of feedback. Or push mute, maybe. I don't know. I think shut it off until you're ready.
We are here
Sorry
with
about that.
Mr. Sean Wilkins Sr. just to say hello. Thank you for sponsoring this year and joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Make sure we're on there.
I always look forward to it and like to participate.
Hit that one more time.
All right.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, Sean Wilkins with us in the booth tonight. My father also. You might have heard his name before because he is, in fact, the touchdown. No, he's not.
First down.
He's
First
the
down.
first down spot. Yeah, we got a lot of first downs. I was
of
thinking you
first
were the
downs
touchdown
tonight.
guy. You're the first down guy.
I really enjoy being a part of the. Really enjoy being part of advertising out here. It's great. The environment's awesome. I'm loving it.
Here, ball on the ground. It's fumbled snap. Hatcher, the center to quarterback snap exchange. Not completed. Ball hits the ground, but recovered by the Eagles. So it's going to be a third down and about 7. We're going to come back to visit with the Sean Wilkins here in just a minute. Oh, it's Bennett Brady in at quarterback. Thanks, Chris.
Brady at quarterback, on-wine fullback. He'll hand off to number 20, McMeans. Plenty of room.
Big third down conversion for the Eagles. Ball now down inside the 20. Trying to get this microphone working, having a little technical difficulty up here.
We've had quite a bit of success running the ball tonight, as you can tell. Try that right there. See if that'll work. Just talk.
Just talking.
Yeah, there you go. There
Okay,
we go.
we're good.
There we go.
Yeah, Brandon's mic works. Thanks, Brandon. Team player. Consummate team player.
Timeout, Britton. Won't you talk about who we're going to
Our timeout, Strategic Financial Partners. That's who we're going to thank for this timeout. Hamp Holcomb, Chandler Gagnon, Bill Edwards, Barrett Jones. Those guys do a great job with wealth management. If you need help in that area, which we all do, who doesn't need help in that area? Call those guys. I've said it many times. What's interesting about that team, they work together as a team. What's interesting about those guys is you got a former professional baseball player, soccer player, and football player all on the same team.
All right, Britton, we got Barnett in, Cleveland, Wickham at center, Webster, Coote, Bennett Brady, your quarterback, Arnwine, fullback. Number 29, White at tailback.
Tim Wright on the carries for ECS. Kevin Harding, Jonathan Wood.
Yeah, so let's get Sean Wilkins, State Farm, both you and my brother, your son, Sean Wilkins Jr., bringing the footballs back. What went into that decision? I mean, I know it's not a huge, big, complicated decision, but we had the footballs for years and then we didn't. So let's talk about that.
I'd like to take credit for that, but Shawn Michael wanted to resurrect that idea.
Well, it worked. Tucker White around the left side for gain of about 10, maybe 12 yards.
Nice run by Tucker White. Is that better, Britton? Not quite as hot?
Yep, much better. Thank you. So you brought the footballs back. There have been a hit. I mean, when the cheerleaders throw them out, there's people going crazy to get a football.
Well received. We've had a lot of fun with that. And today, I don't know if you saw the Facebook. I think it was Facebook. Shawn Michael had a great picture of the football and the eagle.
I saw that.
It's exciting. This is just exciting to be out here. This is the environment. This is something else.
Well, we appreciate you as always. A former board member was talking with Wayne Vandersteeg, another former board member, this week, and he was recounting some of the men that he had served with, including you, on the ECS board. So it was really the part of the conversation was about how some of the troubles that the school, some challenges. Every school has challenges back that 30 years, 35, 40 years ago, just in the beginning, some of the great sacrifices that this community made, and churches, First Evan and Central Church back then.
Touchdown, Tucker White.
Great decisions back then, great sacrifice, and then you look now and see the result. Some great work before us, and I'm very thankful, and we thank the Lord for that. You guys doing a great job up here. Great fun. Have a
tell
good night.
us, so you're a sponsor. Tell us why you sponsored. Why do you like this?
I just love this. I love the school. I love what it stands for. I love the fact that we're about being Christ-centered, about practicing the gospel, and that's what it's about. It's knowing Jesus Christ, but then it's living it, and that's. And I just, if I can do anything, it's even this advertising. It's really just a gift, and we're having fun with it.
Yeah, I've told Britton that people want, when you're in this environment, people want to give time, they want to give money, and sometimes they don't know how to do that, and so they just need to be asked, and it's not a forceful ask. It's it's an get involved ask, and once they do, that's what they continue to want to do.
I get to be a part of this school. I get to. It's
yeah,
not
that's
have
right. Well said.
You're not asked. You get to be a part of this.
Well said.
You guys have a great
I'm
night.
glad. Thanks for sending me here. So,
yeah.
Thanks.
It's a blessing.
I'm kind of partial to one of our sponsors.
Here you go, Brandon. Thanks, bud.
I've said it many times. If you don't have a State Farm agent, you need to talk to Sean Wilkins.
Stuckey, I tell you what, he's kicked well as he has up to this game tonight. He's putting more hang time on the ball. So his leg is getting stronger. He's getting better. Second quarter, got a score in here from Chris. Thanks, Chris. MUS up 16-3 over Christian Brothers.
That's a big score, 16-3. That's a big game tonight. There was a safety. MUS got a safety. That's two safeties tonight in Memphis, Tennessee. One right here on this field.
So Eagles up 37-0. Tucker White with that last score. Tucker had about 3 great runs on that series. Tough, hard-nosed runs into that interior line.
We've got Zach Baker in at safety.
Ladarius Allen, number 7. They're going to throw his way right now.
Well, Zach Baker in the game. Joey Hayworth. Some of these younger guys getting an opportunity. Saw a couple of arm tackles right there.
A lot of fans tonight, we mentioned, because it is senior night. I saw a whole host of fans here for Ladarius Allen, so his family out in numbers to give him a send-off on senior night. Not really a send-off, just a thank you.
Well, he's on the field right now.
That's right.
Number 7 on the bottom of your screen, Ladarius right there. First and
10 for Harding. Quick pass to Lamar. There we go. We talked about him. Ladarius Allen coming up from the cornerback position to make the tackle. That'd be a pickup of 9.
Clayton, we're just joined by Jenny Shorten, so hang around for halftime.
All right.
Want to hear from the big cheese of academics. I think that's what they call her around here. I'm not sure. That's what she is. You might need a filter if you have what do they call that, closed caption? You might want a closed caption. She's got a fairly thick accent. So
from the Mississippi Delta.
From the Mississippi Delta. Not from down south, way south. Way south.
Neely looking deep, just overthrows him. Caden Hill, number 5, on the coverage. Allen's in the game. We got bringing in Bennett Brady, and now it's safety along with Hill. Got number 21, Chris Wiseman, top of the screen, cornerback. Arnwine, your middle linebacker, along with Clements. You've got Joey Hayworth, number 23, outside linebacker, along with Jack Stevens.
What's great, as you said, to get a lot of those young guys in there since we hadn't been able to schedule as many junior varsity games. This is live game time experience.
Wow, great tackle by Caden Hill coming out from that safety position, just putting him on the ground.
Well, Miles Neely's an athlete. We've seen it tonight. He's almost a one-man show. Between he and Swilinski, they probably account for 80% of the offense and a fair amount of the defense as well.
We got Webster, right defensive tackle, John Webster, Blake Barnett, your nose guard, Luke Pleben, left defensive tackle. Pleben swaps time with that first unit as well, so if you watch 53, you'll see him stand that lineman up. So not a big guy, but definitely very strong. First and 10, looking for Swilinski. Quick pass. Allen there to make the tackle. Couldn't quite get him. Baker over to wrap him up and put him down. That'll be a pickup of about 9.
Well, a good reaction by Ladarius. He was there. He stood him up. He gave time for Baker and the rest of the Eagles to pursue, and that's what you need. That's a tough tackle. You know, open field tackles are a lot harder than they look, and it's kind of deceptive. It seems like it would be easy, but he did a good job breaking down, wrapping him up. He just couldn't hang on.
Second and 1, Neely, your quarterback. Sprint out to the left.
Good coverage by Zach.
Weissman was there. I thought Weissman might get the pick. I thought the ball was a little bit overthrown, but.
Yeah, Chris Wiseman was there.
Coach Adams talked highly of Chris Wiseman. You know, kind of took the year off last year, and kind of a rangy, long-armed cornerback. Feels like he can help us as the season goes on. So nice to see him getting some playing time. We're going to get Newhouse in, number 34, now at middle linebacker. He'll take the place of Clements.
Was that John Webster pursuing on that last play from the backside? It was. He was pursuing from the backside.
Boy, Arnwine from that middle linebacker position drops him for a 4-yard loss.
Boy, Joey Hayworth came around that left end like a man on a mission.
It was Arnwine got to him. Nice play, Logan Arnwine, senior. He'll be recognized tonight, senior night. Mom is the famous Latin teacher here, and his dad, of course, Scott Arnwine. You know Will Britton.
Oh yeah.
Fullback in his own right, in his own day. Yes, he was. Absolutely.
That doesn't surprise me. He looks like a fullback.
He does. I would not want to tackle him.
No.
4th down and 5. 20 seconds to go. Neely's going to roll right. Throwing catch to Lamar. He drops it. So that'll be changeover, 15 seconds to go. Your Eagles up 37-0. We'll probably take a knee.
I would think we're going to take a knee with 15 seconds left, up 37-0.
And then we'll get right to senior night.
We're going to get right to hearing from Miss Jenny Shorten.
That works.
Brandon, do you have you got a report down there?
I'm right next to the band. I'm just taking in the wonderful sounds. Can you repeat the question, Britton?
Yeah, we were just wondering if you had a report for us. Just what's it like down there on the sidelines?
Oh, a report.
I mean, a report.
A report, one of those.
You're kind of a big deal.
Good
So
thing
I'm
I'm
just
getting-
wondering what it's like down there.
It's going pretty well. It's going pretty well, up 37-0. I'm going to try to find Coach Adams right now, get a piece from him as we head into the locker room.
Britt, I got a couple little announcements here real quickly before we go to Miss Shorten.
Hey, Coach
All right,
Adams,
go
as
ahead.
we have here. Sorry to cut you off, Clayton, but as we have Coach Adams, first half, what went well? Obviously, a lot of things at 37-0.
Yeah, we're still not playing sharp. We're not playing as a team. Went through the motion a little bit. We gotta have better attention to detail. We've got too many penalties, not lining up right, no sense of urgency, breaking the huddle, defense is lunging. We got some things to fix.
How do you keep them focused at this rate?
We'll go have a good conversation at halftime.
All right, I wish I could be a fly on the wall, but they'll stay between the teams. So that's Coach Adams' take. Obviously, you look at the scoreboard, but it's the little things, it's the details. They're going to tighten those things up in the locker room at halftime. It's going to be interesting to see how they come out in the second half, how much fire is going to be under them as they get ready to play and close this game out.
Yeah, Brandon, you could take a break for a half, and as the second half starts, see if you can get a talk from Coach Vogel. Get the defensive take on the beginning of the second half.
Very well.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to go now real quick, a quick score. St. George's up 21-13 at the half over North Point. DeSoto Central, Germantown High School, we got a power outage, so they are at a delay right now. We're going to go to senior night on the field, but in here, we're going to talk to Miss Jenny Shorten, and Britton's going to handle that in 1 second. We're going to get that flipped over.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be right with you. All right, Clayton, you're cutting my head off. I mean, what? Everybody always cuts my head off. I mean, like, I can't help it that I'm tall. Yeah, we're good now. All right, I'm joined with Miss Jenny Shorten for the Clayton. Thanks for the Pediatric Dental Group halftime show. Pediatric Dental Group in orthodontics. Clayton Floriani, one of the doctors there, and reach out to Clayton if you need some dental work for your kids. Used to be my doctor, great doctor. And then he abandoned me, went peds only. So I lost my dentist to my kids. Now my kids get the benefit. So, Clayton, thanks for sponsoring. So, joined by Miss Jenny Shorten, academic dean. You know, every week we get recommendations for people on the show, and this week you came highly recommended, possibly from the top.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, we would like to hear from you a little bit about the state of academics at ECS, and really, you know, what are some things you guys are working on this year, and what's anything, if anything's changed from last year. The last couple of years, there's been some changes, but if you could give us a little insight into that. And I was in a meeting where I heard you say something that frightened me and excited me, that you said we're literally training kids for jobs that don't exist today.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
it frightened me because that's the reality, and those kids you're training are mine.
Right.
The exciting thing is you recognize that, and I appreciate that. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Right. I think with any academic program, one has to think, all right, where are we? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? And we've certainly done that in the last year especially. And our strengths we are capitalizing on, and our weaknesses we are dealing with head on. We're tackling math right now because we figured we needed a lot more ACT preparation within our math curriculum. So we've brought that in. We've changed our textbooks. We now have Pearson 6th through 12th grade, and we are going to be doing the same in the lower school. So we're getting alignment. We've also brought in the most dynamic group of math teachers, and we're very intentional in making sure that they are there to help our students. We have math labs every morning. We have ACT prep every morning. So our students are able to capitalize on that. Writing, we found, would probably be one of our weaknesses. It's in terms of where we want to be. And so what we've done is we've brought in a new writing program, the Institute for Excellence in Writing. And we have brought that in 3rd grade through 12th. So all our teachers have been trained in IEW. We all speak the same language, the same lingo, so to speak. And students now coming up will, just build on that each year, which we're excited about. I think in terms of, you mentioned jobs for our 21st century students, it's true. We have to have our finger on the pulse of the community, business. What is happening out there? What jobs will our students be going into? And because we don't know, we just have to make sure we're changing with the times. We've changed the way our classrooms look. For example, if you go into an office and you see office space today, there are no more little cubicles. There are no more little private offices. People have shared space.
That's right.
And so having all our students in little desks and doing their own thing all day is not going to work anymore. It's not to say there isn't room to have rows and desks. Some classes have that. But I think we now have exciting new dynamic classroom setups where you can have, which will blow your mind, classroom where you can basically sit in chairs and couches and put your feet up, bring out your iPad, and you're learning and you're engaging. And our students are excited. So there's a lot more cooperation, there's a lot more teamwork and team building, and I think that's going to mirror jobs they will go into where they're not going to work in isolation. So we are excited about that.
It is exciting, and it's almost exciting enough to make me want to go back, but not quite. Not quite. I don't want to go back. My family actually probably wouldn't appreciate that. So tell us, I've heard you talk about how kids learn today.
Right.
You've talked about what the business world is like and how it's changed and how we're adapting in our classroom to prepare kids to work together in groups and for jobs in the future. But what about learning styles and how that's changed? Because I've heard you talk about it, and I was encouraged by what I heard. Share some insights on that with us as well.
Right. I think it's important to understand that every child learns differently. And to be cognizant of that in a classroom setting. But I think experiential learning. So it's not just telling, it's doing. And, in the old days, you would have the teacher giving 70% of the lecture and the students giving 30% back. Now we're getting 70% from the student and 30% lecture. So your teacher, and it's a scary thought, is not necessarily the cleverest person in the room, it's your computer. And so how are we utilizing that to help our students learn? And it's not to say we want them on their computers all day, but they've got to learn how to use it as a tool to enhance what they are doing. And your teacher's almost becoming the sage on the side and generating conversation and discussion. So whereas before, if you take history, for example, I'm sure you remember learning just dates and facts and people. Whereas nowadays, sure, you mention the dates and facts, but that's not what's inspiring us. We are wanting to know how we can utilize those dates and facts to argue something and to come up with an opinion. And not just to have an opinion that's based on no fact, but to be able to substantiate what you say.
To learn from history. Absolutely.
But to learn by having an open mind and reading and learning, and then having an opinion instead of just learning dates off by heart. So that's history. But anything, I think about our science classes right now. Our anatomy class is going to St. Jude in the next couple of weeks, and they will be going through the labs. They're going on a tour, and we're going to start a connection there, which we're excited about. Our
great.
Business classes are out in the community.
The one business class came to Vining Sparks.
Okay.
Who was it? Coach Vogel's class came to do some economics with the chief economic strategist of Vining Sparks, Craig Dismuke, an ECS father.
That.
So he came in the classroom, and they had to endure a few minutes worth of what it was like to be a sales rep
Right.
in that environment for me. But Craig is a phenomenal economist. He's on CNBC all the time. He's on Fox Business, Maria Bartiromo in the mornings. He was on this week, in fact. And, he's putting out a forecast. I love that experience for our class.
Right.
Coach Vogel, they came, they toured the floor, and so they got to learn about economics, which is what the subject of the class was, but in a real world environment
Right.
from a practitioner,
Right.
which I thought was fantastic. So going to St. Jude to talk about anatomy, what a great idea. So I think that's fantastic.
They will remember that more than learning it out of a book.
That scares me too, but because I actually shared a little bit. But you're right, they do. I'm teasing. But so I know we have other trips. Can you talk about that? I mean, the Dolphin Island trip.
Right.
Is that ninth grade goes to Dolphin
All
Island?
ninth grade. Well, not all ninth grade. The ones that want to go to Dolphin Island with Reagan Barnett.
What's the purpose of that trip?
Well, again, hands-on. They, what they learn in the biology classroom, they all go and see hands-on. They work in little labs, and it's all the sea creatures and that type of thing. But they love that, and they come back on fire for biology. Then I have to catch them into
saying
history
something.
again.
Yeah. And then you have to lure them back into
To
history.
lure them back into
All right,
history.
so that's a good segue into what I also wanted to talk about. You have been you're not going to necessarily want to hear this, but you are one of the favorite teachers, and I know you teach AP European, right?
I do.
AP European. I know that you're passionate about that. Tell us a little bit about that class. Why are you passionate about it? And just why are you passionate about teaching, and just more specifically about you and your journey to ECS and what that looks like every day. I know you're doing a little different job now, but you're still in the classroom.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I could do my job unless I was in the classroom. Because for me, the most important part of the day is the students, connecting with them. And I think, also the job I do, I need to be able to do what I'm doing. And then when I work with the faculty, say, well, I'm doing that as well.
Right.
So it's not just from the top down. Right. Yeah. If I'm asking them to do something, I say, well, I'm doing it with you. So we're all doing it together. And I think that goes along a lot better. In terms of AP Euro, yeah, I'm passionate about AP Euro. I am a history nerd. I have been, my daughter's just gone to UT, my youngest one, and it's the sorority thing. And they said, Mom, were you in a sorority? I said, no, I was in the history club in college. So
that's appropriate.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
That's appropriate. That's the person I want teaching history, someone that's passionate about it.
But, we didn't have that in South Africa. But still, yes, I'm passionate about history. I serve as the president of the Tennessee Council for Social Studies. I'm on the board of the Tennessee Geographic Alliance. I live and breathe this stuff. I'm passionate about teaching it. I teach other teachers throughout Tennessee how to teach history. If you look next to my bed, all my books are on Catherine the Great or Bismarck or my personal favorite, Admiral Lord Nelson and his battles. So, yeah.
I'm shaking my head like I know what you're talking about, which I don't.
My husband just shakes his head. He's like, you do you, and it's fine. And
I like your husband. He's a good man. So I'm glad to be. I'll be in good company with him.
But it's my interest, and I would hope that at our school I will say, are very intentional. Every teacher we're putting in the classroom must be an expert in their field. I don't want to put a teacher in front of our students that is not passionate about what they teach and knows something about the subject. So.
Well, you touched on this earlier, and I want to bring it back up about alignment and about curriculum that runs from, you mentioned one curriculum running from 3rd grade all the way through 12th grade, but I know that was a little bit of a change that you guys started and said, okay, here's what do we want our kids to be able to do in each subject, to know for the ACT, but also for life. And you started from 12th grade and worked all the way back down.
Right.
That's a little bit of a change. There's some alignment there. Touch on that.
Right, so backward design. So it's a question of what do we want our final ECS graduate to look like? And in so doing, how do we speak the same language from, right from your tiny little eagles all the way up to 12th grade? I think one thing we found at the school was our 3 campuses were silos. They were working individually, doing a good job, but, not necessarily communicating with one another. And I think one of the first things we did was we got all the departments together, K through 12. So your history teachers are on the same, aligned the same, and English and so on goes on. And I think the important thing with that is being able to see where the gaps are and filling them in. And also, thinking, well, do we teach that in 6th grade? No, we teach that in 7th grade. But thinking, yes, we actually do, but we call it something different. Let's have the same language now. And I think that's important. I think this year our initiative really is to look at each grade and say, all right, what is it that we really want a 6th grader to know, and a 7th, and an 8th, and so it goes on, so that we can really make sure that our students have what they need before they go on to the next grade. And I'm excited too, once we've done that, to potentially be able to steer them in different directions, potentially different tracks. So looking at an engineering track, at a fine arts track, at something that's more classical in its outlook, or maybe a medical type track, or your standard track, which is probably what the majority will stay with.
Well, that's really interesting, and I've been very encouraged by the things that you've shared in multiple settings. I'm excited for my kids. I'm excited for just this kind of new learning style and even the new environment. And you were talking about, you did the alignment. One other thing you talked about that has been said is that you've got, and you mentioned the 3 campuses being kind of siloed, but now you've got, I know you've got high school teachers also teaching in the middle school, and vice versa. So tell us about that just a little bit.
Right, and we were very intentional with that. We've got, for example, our English teachers. Each of them, well, except one because we have her doing something else, but each of them go in and teach either a 6th or a 7th grade class, so that they know that's where we really are focusing on IEW, and they know what they're doing there, and they can take it into high school. Bible. Our Bible teachers now start in 8th grade. So our high school Bible teachers teach 8th, and they go up. So it's just pretty much understanding the middle school ethos and then being able to carry that into upper school instead of thinking it's a different animal. It's now part of the same.
Are you sure it's not a different animal?
Well, it's probably still an animal, but maybe not that.
I've having had one middle school boy and now having a middle school girl, and middle school just in general is its own thing. But I'm really encouraged by that, continuity, or just that extension of high school into middle and middle into high school for those kids to have already had that person, that friendly face when they walk into the high school, and for those high school teachers to understand where the middle schoolers are, and maybe even just to be able to commiserate, to understand a middle school teacher, and to be able to send them Christmas presents and things, be able to thank them. We had Ryan Cummins on last week or 2 weeks ago, and he said, a phrase that I loved as a middle school head of middle school. He said, "I love middle school. It's such a formidable age." And I was just encouraged, having a middle schooler, to hear that. And I specifically remember here at ECS, middle school being crucial for me, and the friends that I made, that I'm still friends with, that I still talk to, even this week. And those friendships were formed in middle school. And we even went so far as to make some pacts about, what we were going to be about and what we were going to do. And those carried all the way through till the time we got married. And so it is such a crucial age.
Oh, it's a wonderful age. And it's funny because my daughter that graduated in 2012 came on campus today. And I took her around the upper school, and then we were in the middle school walking up the stairs, and it's so different. And she said, Mom, the strange thing, it smells the same. And I said, well, kids always smell the same. It doesn't matter what you've done. Middle school kids smell the same. So, but it's fun. It's vibrant. I think there's energy, there's excitement. They're happy children. They're laughing. They want to be at school.
Well, that's a great thing, because that puts them in the right disposition and mindset to actually be able to learn. So, I read something about, learning should be fun. School can be fun. And,
imagine that, right?
Yeah, I think you guys have done a great job at that. We did not talk about the rotating schedule. So that's something else. You want me to tell you quickly? Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, so the rotating schedule is one that I'm particularly excited about, because it allows us zero period, which I'll tell you a little bit about in a minute, but it allows students not to be in the same class every day at a certain time. So, like my 7th period on a Friday is history, and I look at those faces and I think, can you imagine if I had to have them every day? At the end of the day, they would want to get away from me.
Right.
But Monday morning, maybe they'll be okay to see me again, and I think that's exciting. I think also the zero period which enables us to have all teachers in their classrooms, giving tutoring. Students can come and finish tests, so we're not taking students out of class anymore to finish tests or make up work. So they're getting the help they need, and we are offering, specialty, tutoring, whether it's ACT or we're going to do Excel or, keyboarding, essay writing, interview skills.
Great life skills.
Right.
Yeah.
All of that will be 0 periods, so it's not as if they have to come after school or we're taking time out of the school day.
Well, and let's talk too. And I know that this is a team approach. This is not you've got Braxton and Ben Burgess and
absolutely,
the other heads, but all involved. But I know you and Braxton and Ben in particular have spent a lot of time working on these things. Ben actually is listening. He's watching.
I love Ben.
I already got to know. He's in Birmingham, but
I can't do anything without Ben. I can tell you right now. Ben and Braxton, for sure.
The bees.
Yes, Ben and Braxton.
Well, so the last thing we didn't talk about is the later start time.
Right.
That's probably worth mentioning.
Right, absolutely, because they need their sleep. Our students need their sleep, and studies show that. And I think it's something that Braxton was passionate about when he came to ECS. He said, the first thing I want to do is I want to change that. Well, apart from the discipleship, he said, I want to make sure our students get enough sleep, and how are we going to do it and still get everything in. And he went away, and I think he stayed up for 2 nights straight and came back and said, here we go. This is how we do it.
Well, thanks for spending some time with us. I love the later start time, the 0 period, the alignment in all of the subject matters, how you've brought in experts to objectively evaluate each subject and help us, as you said, figure out if we're not where we want to be, how do we get there?
Absolutely.
Speaking the same language. I mean, there's a lot's been accomplished, and it's really exciting, and I appreciate your leadership in all of that.
Well, thank you. It's a perfect time to be an Eagle. So
great.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
All right.
Yards on 26 plays, so actually 2 more plays than the Eagles, but not nearly as productive yards per play. The Eagles right at 8.3 yards passing, 39 yards. The Lions have 40 yards passing, which is interesting because I just told you the Lions have 32 yards overall, which means, as you guessed it, the Lions are -8 rushing. The Eagles, on the other hand, 160 yards on the ground, 19 attempts, 8.4 yards per rush. So right at 8.3 or 4 yards per play, whether passing or rushing. Eagles 3 completions.
Hey, Britton.
Yay.
Yeah, I'll let you get back to the stats. Pardon the interruption, but just have defensive coordinators and athletic director Scott Vogel here into the second half. Obviously, a lot went well in the first half, but what are you trying to get your guys galvanized to do when you head out to the field now?
It's really just trying to do the same thing we did the first half. If we can get all the guys to read their key, line up correctly, and just play fundamentally sound, every chance to play football is a chance to have fun and get better.
Not looking too far ahead, but the opportunity to get some of the younger underclassmen reps. How important is that they get some time on the field here?
Really important. So we're going to start off the second half with all of our 2s, and then hopefully everybody's going to play in this game right now. They all need the experience, and it's just a good chance for all of them to get better.
All right, great insight. Thank you, Coach. Right.
Brandon, hey, I already gave you a raise of a fry in addition to that cheeseburger. You keep this up, you're going to get some candy.
Bring on the M&Ms.
Great job.
Bring them on.
Nice job. Thank you, Brandon.
You're welcome.
Great to have you back with us. First downs for the Eagles, 11. Harding Alliance had 3. Most of those were rushing. Individual leaders, Matthew McMeans rushed 6 times for 68 yards. Jalen Greenwood 7 times for 63 yards. Tucker White has picked up 17 yards. Carson Gagnon receptions 3 for 39. So that's your the bulk of your offensive stats for both teams. Thanks, Chris Williams, for keeping those stats for us. Clayton, I'm going to hand it back over to you for a minute.
You bet. Well, you heard Coach Vogel. We're going to start off with our twos, which is, I think, a great idea. We have a big game next week. Houston High School at Houston. We don't need to get anyone hurt at this point in the game, being up 37-0. Harding going to go for the onside kick. We expected that. Jack Stevens with the catch. Nice play by Stevens. Great hands. He'll take a knee. That'll be at the 46-yard line. 46-yard line. The Eagles will take over. Thanks to Miss Shorten for that great interview. So if you are at home, definitely want to hear that, or in the stands tonight. All right, we're going to start off with Bennett Brady at quarterback. Hatcher's done for the night. We're going to put number 21, Chris Weissman, the top of the screen. Tucker White at tailback, Arnwine the fullback. Lamar for Harding with the tackle. He'll lose about, we may lose one or two. That line, we've got Barnett, Pleben, Wickham, Webster, and also Ben Gray, number 18, Griffin Garrison, tight end. Looking for White once again, gets a hole. He'll get across midfield to the 47, 40, we'll call it the 40, they'll mark it the 49, actually, of Harding. 23, Hayworth enters the game. 25, Welch enters the game. Weissman out. Caden Hill out. Brady with the sideline call. Welch to this side. Hayworth at tight end. Arnwine fullback. White tailback. Harding's bringing the house. We'll go gut play right up the middle. Tucker hit right away. Not much room in the middle.
I don't think it's a secret to the Lions what we're going to do here. We're going to run.
Yeah, it's not.
They're going to pack that box. I'll be real surprised if they don't pack the box the rest of the game, try to just stop whatever run is.
As in most things, we have a number 2 and 3 unit, but we don't have a number 2 and 3 punt unit. So we'll get those main guys back out there on the field. I know Coach Adams is really excited for this offensive line that we had out there just then for the reps that they're going to get.
Well, it's nice to give your starting guys a rest as much as it is to give your second team.
Great snap by Brady. Great kick by Gagnon. Almost. Almost caught by Austin Hill hustling down. Just couldn't quite get it before it went to the end zone. First punt of the night.
First punt of the night?
Chris, I completely, yeah.
That's a good stat.
You're like, yeah, you're right, but you don't think about that.
That's a good sign when your first punt of the night's in the first possession of the second half.
We've either scored or interception. Brandon, Britton's eating your M&Ms up here. I wasn't going to tell, but I had to.
Yeah, I'm glad you're on my side, Clayton.
I did eat the M&Ms. I had to talk the whole halftime.
Swolinski with a 15-yard gain around the right side. If you're at home and you have not had an opportunity, go check out the 5th and 6th grade football team. Brendan Artilli is our sideline reporter. His son's on that team. Great player, lots of fun. These guys are really having a really nice time. Coors Arthur is the head coach of that team and is doing a fantastic job. Just really, the key is just having fun. Not worried about the wins and losses, just teaching the game, trying to get their football IQ up.
Really an all-star staff. Coors, it begins with Coors.
But it doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't. We got Matt Stevens. We got one Clayton Floriani.
Seaflow All-State QB Floriani.
I'm limited in my time. Those other guys put the time in week after week. And also the 7th and 8th grade team were kind of low on numbers last year. I think it's Coach Creel. Is that right? Man, they've got a great number of kids out. So nice to see those guys as they are they're the future of ECS football. Nice run by Smolinski. That'll be a first down for Harding. Neely, your quarterback.
Ball's
Baker
on the ground.
Nice. Yeah. Baker was there. Who else? Griffin Garrison was there.
Zach Baker stripped him, the running back, number 4 for Harding, as he came around the line, reached out, stripped it, and recovered it.
Pleben came over the top, number 53. Zach Bratton, number 16 may have been in there as well, but great play. That'll be Eagle football. We're going to bring that second unit back out. Brady, your quarterback. Brady's going to get this whole second half. 6:20 to go in the third quarter.
Bennett's older brother, Preston, many people in this community know, is on the Memphis Tiger football team. Snapper and holds on extra points and field goals.
Newhouse fullback. Tucker White's going to get right in behind him off the left side. He'll pick up probably 7 on the play. Nice block by Garrison to seal the inside linebacker.
Saw Charlie Crosby in on that play.
Nice play by Newhouse to get ahead. Yep, Crosby, 44, was there. Got behind Barnett, number 52, on that left side. He and Pleben. Crosby's going to be this side of the field, 44. He'll be off the line. Wiseman up top. He'll be on. Newhouse H-back. Ball on the ground. Bennett gets it.
That's the second time this game, that's one of those things that you just need to get reps. That center quarterback exchange, every center snaps the ball a little differently. Every quarterback receives it a little differently. You need to get some reps. And as you said at Clayton, we've not had a lot of reps on the JV, the junior varsity squad. So great to get those reps here tonight. That's the second time, but it hasn't hurt us. Bennett's recovered both times.
Newhouse, the fullback. Tucker White, tailback. Boy, great hole. Actually, that's Zach Baker, the tailback, 17.
Zach Baker shot up in that hole.
He sure did. Great speed, great quickness. Great kick out by Griffin Garrison. Barnett does a great job. Newhouse.
Well, Cameron Harden.
First down, Eagles. That'll be a Sean Wilkins, State Farm first down. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Go visit Sean Wilkins Sr.
388-4944.
All right, Weissman up top. Looks like we're going to have Vargo down at the bottom, Jake Vargo. Once again, Baker at tailback. Nice speed. Looks for the hole. Boy, he runs an awful lot like McMeans.
He does. Flag on the play.
Chris Williams says we got a hold.
Probably going to have a hold.
Great blocking downfield. Griffin Garrison had his guy 30 yards down the field.
I didn't see the hold, but I'm not in position to see it.
First down and 8. Hand off to Baker. He won't get far. At fullback, we got a freshman Clayton Garrison in there. So we got Griffin Garrison, 18, also 39, Clayton Garrison.
Joshua Harris in the backfield for the Eagles quickly from the Lions.
All right, so third, is that second down? Yeah, second down and 11. Arnwine, your fullback. Nice block by Arnwine, just can't quite get a crease.
Well, really, Clayton, it shows you the difference between that first and second team. You know, when you've got Dietrich Pennington and Hartsif up there, those guys are just so big that, you know, they're creating holes that you just don't have the same size.
That's right.
On those younger guys just aren't as big. They probably will be, but they're not yet. And it shows. Harding's got some big defensive linemen.
All right, we're going to put Caden Hill at the bottom of the screen. We're going to put Welch up top, it looks like. Brady going to get out, looking wide open. It's like Jacob Welch. Just a little bit underthrown. He'd like to have that one back. He had plenty of room, just didn't quite get enough velocity on the ball.
Well, you know, you're a quarterback. Talk about that. Rolling out to the right.
He had a little pressure up on him, Britton, but he kind of threw it leaning back off his back foot. And so, you know, you want to, as you roll out, obviously, you know, he's not a big guy, but he's strength. He's the snapper, but you'd like to be coming forward when you throw that pass, coming back to the line of scrimmage. He was going more laterally, and you just can't get any velocity on it.
Harder play, harder throw.
We're going for it on fourth down, 4th and 13. Looking for Caden Hill. Nice throw. Hill couldn't quite catch up to it. I hear a few rumblings in the crowd, maybe a arm or two on him, but obviously that won't be called.
He had an arm on him. Yeah, it looked like he, but it's hard to. Yeah, I can't see it. It's a little bit out of the frame, but
yeah.
He's. I don't think I just watched it live, and I don't think I would have called it.
No,
not against a team that's
right.
Down 37-0.
That's right. Nice job, Stoker. Man, that's a great camera. It's hard to get that footage when a nice bomb like that. All right, that's almost going to wrap it for this third quarter. Time is winding down. Garrett Wilson, number 15, freshman, in the stands. Excuse me, not in the stands, on the field at cornerback.
But Garrett's got great speed. His father, Tim Wilson, one of our sponsors. Tim Wilson from Compliance Associates. Clayton, I want to say thanks to Bank 3, Scott House, great group of bankers. They are sponsoring our Players of the Week, our offensive defensive scout team, and the Eagle Player of the Week. So thanks to Scott House and Bank 3 for looking for a bank. A banking relationship, reach out to those guys. Also thanks to Josh Regal, Summer with Regal Pharma Lab, Jake Vargo with Memphis Children's Clinic, Kevin Hertzke, ECS graduate, Buff City Soap. We talked about them earlier. Of course, Sean Wilkins, State Farm, Strategic Financial Partners, Barrett Jones, Chandler Gagnon, Bill Edwards, and Hamp Holcomb. Also, thanks to Darren Wilkes with Benny James. Call him for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, appliance. They've also, I didn't mention this, they've also fixed my refrigerator. Actually, a couple refrigerators.
Your house is ready to sell now.
I'm telling you. I got a new roof. I just got my weeds sprayed. I just trimmed the bushes. They're looking tight. I mean, feel free if anybody's interested.
Awesome.
Let me know. I didn't realize you were putting the names on the screen.
As you were going, I was right there with you.
Tim Wilson, Compliance Associates, Pediatric Dental Group, and Orthodontics. Thank you, Clayton, for your support. I mentioned, of course, Bank 3.
Swolinski around the left side. Who get knocked out of bounds by number 22, Gabe Breitenberg. Gabe's one of the guys that came out this week, Britton, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, so.
Nothing like coming out for football and getting in the game.
I'm telling you, man, you're not kidding. Charlie Crosby, safety, twin safety, along with Bennett Brady. Top of the field, Zach Bratton, number 16, playing cornerback. Near side, number 22, as we said, it was Breitenberg. Nice pressure by that front group. Webster, Barnett, Wickham.
Quick pass to Octavius Lamar. He just wasn't ready.
Newhouse, 34, middle linebacker, along with Clayton Garrison. So you got a sophomore and a freshman in there right now. Two good-looking ball players. I know the coach wants to give them some time for sure.
Clayton, I'm watching these coaches on the sideline, and they're a lot of on-field coaching. You know, these young guys, every coach is on their positions is out there actively coaching right now during the game, and this is great experience for these young men.
3rd and 10, handoff to Swalinski on the right side. Brady almost gets him. He gets knocked out by Breitenberg, who comes across from the near corner. We're going to bring Arnwine in, 41. Ben Gray, 57, will come in, defensive tackle. Nice to see Gray get some work. Jake Vargo will come in for safety. Garrison will be out. .949 and counting. Harding 1st and 10, heading north. Quick pass to Swalinski from Neely will be incomplete.
Good coverage by Jake Vargo on that play.
Just real quick, fellas, just the perspective on the sideline. We see the score, 4th quarter, time winding down, 37-0 right now. But the sideline is as engaged as you would think it would be if this was a tie game. A lot of the leadership on this team cheering on some of the younger guys that are getting a lot of valuable reps right now. So it's just great to see how engaged these guys are, cheering on their teammates and staying very much jacked into the game right now.
Thank you, Brandon.
It is great to see those starters cheering on the second team.
2nd down and 10, handoff to Lamar. Wickham had him wrapped up. You know, I wanted to comment, Britton, one thing that we heard last week was, you know, we asked some of the players kind of, hey, what did they see as far as a difference, the coaching staff? And, you know, the comment we heard was you know what, my position coach didn't change.
Yeah.
And so because they didn't change, I really haven't noticed the difference in the energy in the staff or just a difference. So, boy, that's a testament to the way Coach Adams has come in and just a humility he has shown. Let those guys continue to coach, and that's paying dividends.
Well, he's continued on this, you know, this kind of turnaround that Jonas Rodriguez started. You know, Jonas picked Trey Adams to be on his staff, so good call on his part. And then he leaves, goes home to Nashville, and has assembled a great staff. And then they all stayed with Trey Adams, which just tells me how much they respected him and the kind of relationship he had with them. And this staff has done a great job, and Trey leading this staff has done a great job. You know, bringing Coach Hines back to ECS to be involved in this program, you know, for guys like me, just great to have him back around. One of the guys that I played for when I was here.
It's like the Eagles got a little antsy there. We've got Barnett at nose. We've got Ben Gray at right defensive tackle. Wickham at left defensive tackle. We're going to bring in Carlton Webster now at that nose guard position. Britt, I saw a guy at halftime. I met him. I never met him before, but he graduated the year after you. So he played baseball with you. Matt Wright.
Matt Wright's down there?
Yep.
Matt Wright's a good man. That is a great guy. Good second baseman for the Eagles when I was here. I played center field, but when our first baseman pitched, Rhett Higginbotham, I would go in and play first base.
Handoff Lamar. Tackle by Jacob Welch, 25. Nice play by Welch. He's wrapped up also by Ben Gray. Sorry, that was Joshua Harris. I saw the 3. Nice to see Gray get in there, that number 57. Quick pass to Swalinski. Breitenberg on the tackle.
Clayton 22 on the tackle. Who was that you said?
Breitenberg.
Breitenberg, the new guy.
Yeah. Well, he came out. Thomas Kaiser came out, and then David Coote came out.
Boy, that's great.
We got number 8, Wilson Thetford is in there. Thetford is also a quarterback. John Vargo in at safety. Handoff to Swalinski. Wow, great tackle by Clayton Garrison, middle linebacker. There's your freshman for you. That's going to be a future middle linebacker for ECS.
Good job, Clayton Garrison.
Not easy to bring down. Swalinski, good ball player. Garrett Wilson, far corner. Wilson Thetford, outside linebacker, 2 freshmen. Garrison, middle linebacker, freshman. John Vargo, freshman. Nice play by Neely. Looks like Wickham broke that up. Made him turn back to the inside, just didn't have any help.
MUS leads Christian Brothers 23-10 with 4 minutes left in the third. Briarcrest leads Pope John Paul 27-7.
All right, that'd be incomplete.
Central now leads Collierville 28-14. Collierville, a team that we're going to face later this season.
Neely looking for Lamar, right in his hands. Could not bring that in. That'll bring up second down and goal. 3:30 and counting. Clock is running.
MBA from Nashville leads St. Benedict at halftime 21-0.
Nice play, John Webster, 58 to wrap him up. That'll be about a 2-yard loss.
14 minutes ago, St. George's leads North Point 28-13. 2 more teams in our division.
All right, we're going to bring in number 70, Wesley Jones, another freshman. Also number 67, looks like David Coote.
Clayton, that running clock, there's 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in this football game. The sponsors aren't going to get their money's worth tonight.
Not when he's running that fast. Neely's going to scramble out, chased by Crosby.
Nowhere to
and
throw.
by Welch.
Good job by
to
Neely.
throw it away.
Nowhere to throw. Covered by Ladarius Allen in the end zone, the only receiver they had anywhere near a reception.
All right, 4th and goal. Lost a couple on the play, so they have 11 yards to go. This is going to be it for Harding. This will be their last opportunity to try to put some points on the board. We've got Jones up front. We've also got number 75, Kessler Baker in there. Ladarius Allen.
Jacob Welch. Number 25, Jacob Welsh, right there to meet him, and then Ladarius Allen for the cleanup.
That's going to do it. Harding does not get on the board tonight, so the Eagles will pitch a shutout.
Well, giving up 7 points the last 2 games.
Brandon, we'll zero in on you after the coach talks to his team. He'll probably talk to the team, and they'll get a little come over to the student section. We'll let you grab, and we'll put the camera on you if that's okay.
I'll be ready. I'll get in position and try to get with Coach Adams after the game and maybe a couple of the players.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, try to get them in here in the middle if possible. Hey, make sure you fix your hair, too, because you're going to be on camera.
Because it's prime time.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Zach Baker?
Zach Baker with some room to run. Clayton, that's going to do it with 34 seconds left. I don't think the Eagles are going to run another play. The difference on the time clock, difference on the play clock. Yep, coach is calling them in, bringing them back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it at Legends Field tonight. Your Eagles on top, 37-0. Britton, pretty much we thought that would happen tonight. We thought we'd maybe see a little more from Harding, but just don't have the numbers to match up against the Eagles. That'll put the Eagles 3-0, 1-0 in region play.
Yeah, Houston's winning. Houston won tonight, so that means both teams will be 3-0 next week.
Did you get that?
I did have that, and I lost it. Let's see.
We will be at Houston at Lander Stadium in Germantown next Friday night. We'll try to go on air at 6:35 as well. For those of you not making the trip over there, ECS Eagles Sports on YouTube. So we'll get a couple interviews here from Brandon Artilles with Coach Adams and maybe a couple of players, and then we'll wrap up this senior night on a hot, muggy night in Cordova.
I'm not sure who Houston played tonight. Chris is going to look into that for us.
Chris, what kind of, as we're sitting here for a minute, you may have a few little last-minute stats for us here as some rushing and passing. You don't have to go through it all, but.
Well, total offense, the Eagles outgained Harding 220 to 109. Again, very lopsided in terms of all the statistical categories. Rushing, ECS outgaining Harding 181 to 62. Penalties not really a factor. In terms of individual stats, McMeans finished the game with 6 carries for 68 yards. Greenwood 7 carries for 63. Tucker White with some good action tonight, 9 carries for 27 yards. So got him some good action tonight, which will certainly serve the Eagles well in the future.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that.
Coach Adams going over taking his hat off as well in front of the student section as they play Victory in Jesus. Good crowd on hand tonight.
Yeah, band sounds great as well.
They do.
Just running down some other scores. Clarkville now trails Central 28-21 late in the third.
I'm going to go with Coach Adams right here real quick. Sorry, Chris. Sure. All right, Brandon, we're ready.
All right, thank you so much.
Hold on, Brandon, we lost you.
How about now?
Right.
Let's move up a little bit, Coach. Get as close to the press box as possible.
There you go.
Okay, again, what you see out there today, result really good, but what are you seeing?
Yeah, it feels good to be 1-0 in the region. Obviously, we got 5 region games that matter. Being 1-0, I was proud of the effort in the second half. We came out, some guys got some crucial reps, and to hold the shutout, offensively we moved the ball a little bit in the second half, so it was good. Good to see.
Very interesting to see the leadership on the team cheering on those guys, getting those reps, and completely engaged in the game to the very end.
Yeah, we talk about family. and they know it doesn't matter what part of the family is in the game, what part of the family is out of the game. We're all one. No, that's what we've asked them to do, and I think they did a tremendous job of that, no matter who was in the game tonight.
We saw that lift out, certainly. Okay, you got one in the region under your belt, going against a D1 opponent locally in Houston. What's on your plate there?
Juggernaut. Obviously, the tailback's phenomenal. O-line, D-line is massive. Coach Thomas over there does a tremendous job. It's going to be an exciting challenge. That it's a game. It's another measuring stick for us. It's the next one on the schedule, so we'll enjoy this one tonight, and then tomorrow morning they'll be in here at 8:30, and then we'll regroup and take a look at Houston. It'll be an uphill challenge. First road game of the whole season. All scrimmages were at home. First 3 regular season games are at home, so we look forward to going on the road and seeing what we can do.
All right, well, congratulations again, Coach, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Brandon.
All right, Clayton, I'm going to say thanks to our sponsors.
I like
go ahead,
very
Brandon.
quick telling a player you're going to run if you don't start cleaning. And again, just speaks volumes of the character and the culture here. Cleaning up the field, that's on the players after the game, taking ownership and responsibility over it. Pardon the interruption.
Hey, you can interrupt me anytime. We've already established.
You're the man, Britton.
We've already established you're a big deal. You're so good at this. You almost seem like a professional.
I need an agent. Can you be?
I got an agent right here, Sean Wilkins, State Farm.
That kind of agent.
That's your. Not that kind of agent. Oh, I'll be your agent. You need a Jerry Maguire. Is that what you need?
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, all
one
right.
of those.
I got that. Thank you, Brandon, for your help tonight. Thanks, Chris Williams, on the stats. Do you have some stats to take us out, Chris?
Yeah, just a quick update on next week's opponents, the Houston Mustangs. They rolled over Bolton tonight, 45-0. So Eagles have the challenge next week.
All right, Chris. Well, we'll
Thank you.
see you next Friday night in Germantown.
All right, Clayton. Thanks to pregame sponsor Buff City Soap, Tim Wilson Compliance Associates, Sean Wilkins State Farm, Strategic Financial Partners, Bill Edwards, Sam Polkum, Chandler Gagnon, Barrett Jones, Darren Wilkes at Benny James, also Pediatric Dental Group and Orthodontics, Clayton Floriani, Sammy Reagan Millwork. We brought some stats tonight, and we didn't talk about Sammy Reagan like we should have.
Gosh.
Sorry, Sammy. We'll pick you up a little extra
We'll
next
double
week.
time you next week.
Sammy Reagan, thank you, Sammy, for your family, your support. Scott House with Bank 3, Matt Stevens, Josh Regal, Regal Pharma Lab, and then Jake Varga, Memphis Children's Clinic. Thank you to our sponsors and to our fans for being out here tonight or tuning in from home.
All right. Good night from Legends Field. We'll see you next week.